and welcome to the Pirate King Plays Genshin Impact! Oops, hello. It's been a while since we streamed this, and a bunch more content has come out. For a while, it was just one story quest existed. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can find the time to do this. Then they put out another story quest and a hangout quest, and there's an event going on. I'm like, okay. We'll fucking get this out of the way before too much builds up. Maybe we'll even stream the event because it's a voiced one. I should have done this before starting the stream. Oh well. Okay, what do we got? What do I have to go through? I don't want to. No, go away. Okay, I'm just clearing these out first. All right, with a new update, there's a new PS5 thing I can buy for that. Right, quests. Oh, there's also this. I'm not sure about. I thought it had something to do with the event, but now it seems it looks too small for that, and I think it's just something for the new stuff with the card game. Here's the event. But we're gonna do these first because they're more important. And I still don't know if I want to do the event on stream, but it's been enough days since it started so that I probably wouldn't get cut short. Alright. Search for a physician. To Liyue! Yeah, look at all that card stuff up there. Also, I may have to get rid of some other notifications here. What's going on? I don't know what would be new over here. Oh, they introduced a thing where you can have multiple gadgets equipped at once, up to 4. I have no idea why I would need more than... Well, I had Sarush for his stuff in the... Oh, right, I never streamed that stuff. Let me show you the map for a second here. Big new area! Notice how it's already at 100%, both of them. Yeah. So there was a whole unvoiced quest line up here, which was pretty interesting. Seemingly with... I forget what they're even called. Sarush is one of them. And they're, like... pretty much they're descended from oceanids? Something like that? Alright, don't need to worry about you. This, I want to get out of the way. This is the event that's going on. It's a card game event, apparently, for Genius Invocation TCG. So I might start that on stream and then see if I want to actually finish it. And the new story quest, we're doing the old one that was here before, but new one's for Yoimiya, and I love Yoimiya, so we're gonna do that. Yeah, this is what I think that other thing is. This way. Enough explaining, let's go do things. I hear there are more people out here.
What's your name, buddy? Are you here to buy some medicine? Where are your mom and dad?
Are you lost?
No, I'm not. My name's Ayu, and I'm here because...
Hey there, Chi-Chi. Hi, Gray. What's going on? Hi, Traveler and Paimon.
You've actually come at the perfect time. This little boy seems to have gotten himself lost. I think
he was about to explain. Let him explain.
From his parents and...
No, listen to me. I'm not the one who's lost. It's my dad.
Your dad? How does a fully grown man manage to get lost in Liyue Harbor?
Well, my dad's always been kind of forgetful. In the past, he was just a little slow to react sometimes. But I'm worried that it's getting more serious.
So, what about your mom?
She went out a few days ago to gather some herbs for my dad, but she still hasn't come back. Meanwhile, my dad's been getting worse and worse. I remembered that the owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy always runs a clinic in Chingsa Village during the Lantern Rite, so I thought, Why don't I take Dad to Liyue Harbor to see him there?
Owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy. You must mean Baiju.
When we got to the city gate, I took a moment to ask the Millith guards for directions to the pharmacy. And then, when I turned back around, my dad was gone. I asked the Millith guys to go find him, but he said they won't be able to send that many people. So then I figured, maybe I can ask some other people in the city to help.
You came to the right place. We're pros at finding people. Isn't that right, Traveler?
It'll be a piece of cake for us.
Genshin can help. She has a good sense of smell, like a dog.
Hey, who's talking about me behind my back?
Genshin, Chi-Chi meant that as a compliment. There's no need to be upset. Hello, child. You mentioned that you were looking for the owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy. How might we be of service?
I still can't
You
believe
have
they
a talking snake?
called the medicine place Boo Boo.
Are you Uncle Baiju?
Uncle Baiju?
Genshin, now's not the time. My dear boy, could you tell me more about your father's condition? As much as you can recall.
Yes, Dr. Baiju.
He explains his father's health situation to
I
Baiju.
see. And your family lives near Qingse Village, you say? I visit patients there frequently, but I don't recall ever seeing you or your parents.
Uh-huh. My mom doesn't like meeting other people, especially during Lantern Rite. She always tells me to just stay at home and keep my dad company.
Is that so? Ayu? By any chance, is your mother's name Jiangli?
Whoa, yeah, it is. Do you know my mom, Dr. Baiju?
I certainly do. Gui, Chi-Chi, are there any pressing matters in the pharmacy at the moment? Ayu's parents are old acquaintances of mine, so I would very much like to assist with the search. Would the two of you have time to join me?
Don't forget us two. We already told Ayu that we'd help.
Oh, really? Well, that's wonderful. We are most grateful for your support.
Count on us.
Chi-Chi and I need to clear up the shop front first, but once that's taken care of, we'll be right out to help you with the search.
Family
It took them long enough to make Baiju a
very
playable character.
important.
Thank you. Then I'll leave you to handle the pharmacy.
We literally had to go to the land of
Traveler,
Dendro before
time
they
out.
gave us
Why don't you come
a
with me and
Dendro
Ayu?
person to play as.
Let's start by talking to the Millilith
And
guards
even
at the
after
city
that,
gates
took
see
them a
if they
while
have
to
an
get to him.
update.
Wait on that. Heart of Healing started. Guards. So yeah, off stream, other than clearing out that new area of the map, I've mostly just been doing the dailies. I think there was an event here and there, but oh no, there was one. It may have happened around the time that this story mission turned up. I don't quite remember what it
Searched
was.
to the north, but couldn't find anyone who matched the description.
Well, that
Wasn't voiced,
complicates things. The city folks say there's no sign of him either. We need to start looking further afield. But where are we gonna get the people?
Excuse me, sirs. Have you found out anything about my dad yet?
Ah, hey there, buddy. Dr. Baiju. What brings you out this way?
The boy asked for our help, so we're here to join the search. Any new developments to update us on?
Oh, thank goodness. We were just discussing how we're running out of manpower. As for updates, I'm sorry to say that we've searched the surrounding area thoroughly, but didn't find anything.
The guards at the crossing up ahead said they hadn't seen anyone either, so we don't believe he was heading towards the Guili Plains. But it is possible that he was bound for Luhua Pool.
Luhua Pool? The terrain there can be tricky to navigate. Let's hope he hasn't run into any trouble.
We'll take care of that area.
You will? Oh, great. We can't thank you enough.
Sorry we weren't able to find your dad, buddy.
That's okay. Thank you for trying.
The reason I want to, are we going all the way over there? Part of the reason I want to stream at least all of the voice stuff for this is because even if it doesn't seem related, like some of these story quests, they are canon to the story of the game, so it it does count, and it does matter. Man, I haven't played this on PS5 in a while. I forgot the...
Dad!
Feel
Dad, can you hear me?
the wind in the controller. Oh, there we are.
Look, there's somebody over there! Oh no, it's... Hey, you! Stop! Don't go any further!
I don't think anyone would have understood that.
Watch where you're going!
Hi,
Dear customer,
Hutao?
Wangsheng Funeral Parlor does appreciate your patronage, but you needn't hasten the inevitable. Are you all right? Huh?
Dad!
Hey, Hutao!
My, who do we have here? It's the traveler. My worst nightmare.
Oh?
I see she still hasn't warmed to you.
Thank you, Director Who, for saving this man.
Dad, are you okay? Do you recognize...
Are you? Who am I?
Your name is Jiao Liang, and you live just west of Qingse Village. You were supposed to come to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor. Remember? Does that jog your memory?
Oh, my name is Jia Liang. Liyue Harbor. See the doctor? Yes, I'm Jia Liang, and I need to see the doctor. Wait, why do I need to see the doctor?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
He's in
jeez.
really bad shape. We need to get him back to Boo Boo Pharmacy right away. Sorry, Hutao. Gotta dash. Dinner's on us next time.
Hold on a second. You're not seriously thinking of taking him to Boo Boo Pharmacy in this state, are you?
Huh? Why not? What's the problem?
Come on, Baizhu. Don't tell me you haven't noticed it. Didn't your master teach you how to spot the signs? Why do I get the sense that you spotted them right away, but you're planning to use it for your own ends?
Fuck.
Use what? What are you talking about? Paimon's lost.
There are traces of god remains in Jia Liang's system.
Oh, yes, but more importantly, they're on the verge of an outburst. If that happens, the consequences will be unthinkable.
Paimon, sorry. What?
God remains?
Yeah, what?
There's no need to worry, Director Who. I have methods of keeping them at bay. It is the sworn duty of all who practice medicine to cure illnesses and save lives. What reason would I have to neglect a patient in need who is right there in front of me? Besides, it was my late master's dying wish to be able to save this patient in particular. Perhaps out of respect for him, you could give me a day's grace so that I have time to treat him?
Now you're bringing my great-uncle into this? Baizhu, just what are you planning this time?
Merely to cure this man, nothing more. But of course, if you have any doubt as to my intentions, you are more than welcome to accompany me to Boo Boo Pharmacy and monitor my activities.
Oh, really?
There's a
I
lot
thought
going
I was
here that
persona
has
non
not been
grata at
explained.
Boo Boo Pharmacy. You're being unusually generous today.
Don't forget we're here too. Mind explaining the fuck you're talking about?
Okay, deal.
Also, this man is
We're
dying.
not gonna solve anything by keeping Jia Liang here. I'm happy to do it your way, but only for my great-uncle's sake and the travelers, of course.
You must be pleased you brought the traveler along. Otherwise...
Well, time is of the essence. Let's get ourselves back to Boo Boo Pharmacy at once.
Some people just talk too slow in this game. I don't know why it makes me impatient. Good, it just takes us back.
Blockages within the cardiovascular system. Reduced blood flow and energy circulation? I see. I suppose this must have caused the cognitive abnormalities.
Dr. Baizhu, how bad is it? Can you cure him?
Don't you worry. Baizhu's a really great doctor. He's sure to find a way.
Ayu, Do you know when your father first started displaying these symptoms?
I'm not sure. He's been like this for as long as I can remember. But it wasn't as bad as this when I was still little.
So it's been a long time indeed.
Is it a grim prognosis?
No. I have a treatment plan in mind. We can start tonight. Come and see me again tomorrow morning. I promise that by then, Ayu will find his father healthy and lucid again.
That'd be quick.
Thank you, Dr. Baizhu. Thank you so much.
If you still have any misgivings, Director Who, please feel free to hang around for as long as you wish.
However,
Also,
it would be
Director
best
Who,
if you step outside
Doctor
this
Who.
room. A doctor must be able to focus when treating a patient. Any distractions heighten the risk of complications.
Yes, of course, absolutely. I'll just go and look at the flowers or something. But I will be back in an instant at the first sign that something's amiss.
We'll be heading out now, too.
See you tomorrow,
Hu Tao, the
Baizhu
fuck?
and Changchang.
Bye for now.
Hey. There's a lot more going on
Are you
here.
ready, Baizhu?
Ready as I'll ever be. I'm used to it by now. Come on, let's get started.
All's well that ends well, huh? You know, Paimon's kind of curious after hearing Baizhu mention those people from his past. What do you think they were like?
You mean Baju's master or Ayu's mother?
Yeah, you must be curious too, right? Let's go see what we can find out while Baiju's busy treating Ayu's dad.
I guess. Hu Tao! What the fuck was that about?
While I'm idling time on admiring the scenery, the spectacled snake-bedecked docs doing surgery. Hello, you busy bees, and what do you have to discuss with the funeral director today?
So...
Actually, don't tell me. Let me guess. From the looks on your faces, you've got some questions for me.
Guilty as charged. So, we were just a little curious about Baiju's master. What was he like? Oh, and also, how come you and Baizhu could tell so quickly that Jia Liang had god remains in his system?
Huh? I thought I told you once before. Wangsheng Funeral Parlor was first founded to fight back against the vengeful wrath of gods defeated in war.
Oh, that vaguely rings a bell. Feels are hazy.
Well, it is a dusty old tale by this point. Long story short, in the ancient world, dead gods were acting up, so our ancestors started purifying the air and burning the bodies of the deceased to guard the border between life and death. These days, we don't deal with the wrath of the gods anymore, but all the relevant know-how is still passed down to each generation, so we can identify gods' remains when we see them.
Okay, Paimon gets it now. Wait, so how did Baizhu learn to spot them?
Almost certainly from his master, who was also my great-uncle. Baiju's master was my grandpa's younger brother, a former deputy director of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor.
Wow, fancy that! Huh. So, if he was from Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, how did he end up as Baiju's master?
According to my grandpa, he and my great-uncle once went traveling together when they were young. They ended up at Chenyu Vale, where they met a pharmacist. That pharmacist must have cast some sort of spell on my great-uncle, because after that encounter, he suddenly announced he wanted to leave the family business and go practice medicine instead. My grandpa had a huge argument with him, but he couldn't convince him to stay. So my grandpa inherited the funeral parlor, while my great-uncle stayed in Chenyu Vale to practice medicine. They never spoke to each other again.
Oh,
Funeral
jeez.
director to doctor is a pretty big career change. Kinda hard to imagine. But Why did it drive a wedge between them for the rest of their lives? That seems a bit extreme.
Agreed.
If he had just become a regular doctor, there would have been no issue. After all, the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor wasn't unlike a regular doctor's clinic in the early days. But according to my grandpa, the pharmacist they met had a very ominous aura about him. And on top of that, the kind of medicine practiced in the Chenyu Vale tradition goes against the natural order of things.
In what way?
Don't know. My grandpa didn't know the specifics. And you've seen how wary Baizhu is around me. He'd never tell me anything. But even that says
You acted
to me that
hostile
he
toward him
definitely
first.
has something to hide. One thing I do know about Baizhu is that he's obsessed with the idea of immortality. But whether that has anything to do with what he's hiding is hard to say.
Immortality?
Anyway, so I will be sticking around here for now to keep a close eye on the situation. Maybe tomorrow I'll finally figure out what he's up to.
After all that, it seems like we have more questions than answers. Never mind. We'll just have to ask Baizhu himself about all of this tomorrow.
Oh, while you're here, have either of you seen Chi-Chi around? It's not every day I get to infiltrate Baizhu's lair, but alas, I didn't catch a single glimpse of her anywhere. Aha! What if Baizhu knew I'd be on the lookout for her and hid her away in advance?
It makes sense that the director of a funeral parlor would be interested in the girl who thinks she's a zombie. Which, I don't know. Did they ever confirm if she is actually a zombie? Or, I mean, until they do, I will be convinced that she only thinks she is, and she's just a normal little girl with an electrovision. Still here?
It's a new day!
Oh.
Let's go
No,
back
she's
to
not.
the pharmacy and check out how Jia Liang is doing.
She's up here now. She moved in mere seconds.
Oh, are you?
Dad, you remember me!
Yes, I remember now. Oh, are you? I'm so sorry. You must have been worried sick. Has your mom shown up yet? She's been gone for a while, hasn't she?
Don't worry, Dad. I got the Adventurers Guild to help us look for her. And Dr. Baizhu's gonna help too. Right now, all you need to do is concentrate on getting better.
Great. That's wonderful. I can't thank you enough, Dr. Baizhu. My pleasure, really. It's the least I can do to honor my late master's dying wish. If anything, I should be apologizing to you for not making the time to visit in all these years. Not at all, Dr. Baizhu. It's only because Jiang Li... What was her reason again? You're still in the early stages of recovery, so you'll need to take it easy for a while. Take it slowly and try not to overexert yourself.
I suggest you stay at Boo Boo Pharmacy and rest for at least the next few days.
Director Hu, do you have any further reservations about Jia Liang's condition?
It seems like the evil presence is gone after all. You really did manage to suppress it, huh? But how did you accomplish this in a single night?
That would be a trade secret, I'm afraid. If that gives you any cause for concern, you may continue to monitor Jia Liang for as long as you wish. Though, I regret to say that Boo Boo Pharmacy cannot offer to reimburse Wangsheng Funeral Parlor for any revenue lost in the meantime.
Oh, come on, Baizhu. I'm not that unreasonable.
Baizhu looks a little worse for
I've been stuck indoors for too long. Baiju, take me outside for some air, or I'm going to suffocate.
Ah, yes, of course. Everyone, please excuse Qiangsheng and myself for a moment.
Suffering now, are we? Did you seriously expect to cover it up just by putting on a brave face and ignoring it? If it weren't for my quick thinking, they'd have all seen the sorry state you're in by now. But in any case, why must you keep this a secret from everybody? You should at least share your secret with one person you trust.
Who's there?
It's me, Arlok.
Why did you follow us here?
I thought you were looking a little unwell.
Oh, it's nothing. I just needed to get some air.
What did I just say about putting on a brave face? Traveler, Paimon, the truth is, Baiju did not cure Jialiang's illness. Instead, he transferred some of his own life force to his patient to temporarily subdue the poison in his system.
Horse?
Baiju, can you please explain all of this?
My predecessors in medicine forged a contract with Qiangsheng. Every successor to this contract is able to use Qiangsheng's secret art to treat patients. I believe the irregularities with Jialiang's heart meridian were likely caused by a poison concocted using god remains as a key ingredient. The poison has not been purged from Jialiang's system. Rather, I infused him with some of my own life force, using Qiangsheng as the delivery medium. This will suppress the poison's effects for a limited time.
Qiangsheng?
I had a snake bite him to suppress the poison.
Paimon always thought you were just Baiju's strange choice of a necklace.
Ah!
Hey, I'll have you know that I commanded the respect of even the Adepti back in Chenyu Vale. If anything, he is my mannequin. I was treating patients with Baiju's master's master long before he ever set eyes on his first medical text. Whoa. Guess you shouldn't judge a snake by its skin.
Please, that's enough.
You're looking even worse now than before. Are you sure you're okay?
Wait a sec. Huto was saying that the branch of medicine you studied uses some pretty dubious methods. So, when you transfer your life force, does that mean you're actually damaging your own body?
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Qiangsheng helps to keep my chi in balance, so there is no great harm done.
Still, Baiju's life force is not unlimited. We must find a way to neutralize the poison in Jialiang's body. And soon. Traveler, Paimon, would you lend this dummy a hand? He needs someone checking up on him, or he'll exhaust himself trying to accomplish everything on his own.
Go on, Baiju. Let us help you.
Baiju, don't you think you should seize this opportunity? You cannot expect to hide this from everyone for your entire life. Time will see that...
Yeah.
Entire life. Thank you, Traveler and Paimon.
Huh. Paimon doesn't think we've seen this side of you. But there's no need to thank us. You've helped us out before.
So, what are the next steps?
The poison in Jialiang's system must have accumulated over a prolonged period. I think I should pay a visit to their family home and look for clues as to how he might have been exposed to it.
Do you know where his house is?
Yes. I asked Ayu this morning before you arrived. He told me that his family lives in a secluded spot to the west of Qingsa village. Let's head there together once I've asked Gui and Chi-Chi to look after the pharmacy. As well as investigating Jia Liang's exposure to the poison, we should also keep an eye out for Ayu's missing mother, my fellow disciple, Jiang Li.
Oh no. She poisoned him. She's been poisoning him for a long time, and it got worse before she could help him herself. That's my call anyway. She's been using him as a test subject. This will be confirmed once we get there, of course, but that is my guess for now. Let me just enter via the roof. Oh, apparently we're on the path.
There's a house all the way out here? Huh. It's so well hidden, Paimon's never noticed it before.
Probably wasn't
Nor
here
have
before
I.
the update.
And I've hosted clinics at Qingsa Village many times in the past. If you ask me, Jiang Li was trying to remain unnoticed.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. We meant to ask earlier, but it slipped our mind.
She was indeed. We studied medicine together under the same master near Chenyu Vale. She is several years older than I and also began her travels far earlier than me. As a result, the time I spent studying alongside her was rather short.
Supposedly, she met an herb gatherer sometime during her travels and decided to settle down with him. That must have been Jialiang.
Wait, Changsheng, are you saying neither of you had actually met Jialiang or Ayu before all of this?
Jiang Li did occasionally come back to Chenyu Vale to see our master, but for whatever reason, she hardly ever talked about her family. The last time she visited us, she and Master had some sort of quarrel. We never heard from her after that. It almost seemed as if she'd gone into hiding.
She was using her family as test subjects.
What happened?
Or at least her husband.
I don't know. I did not witness the argument myself.
Nor did Master ever explain it to me. All he would say is that should I ever encounter Jiang Li or her family in the future, I should do everything in my power to help them.
Oh, so that's why you went to such extreme lengths to help Jialiang.
No. Even if my master had never said anything, it would still be my duty as a doctor to help him. My decision would have remained the same.
Is that a scar or a tattoo on his arm?
Paimon never knew you were so selfless, Baiju.
So a few words from me is enough to dispel all your suspicions? Hmm? You ought not be quite so quick to relax your guard, Paimon. Sometimes even the good guys have their own private agenda.
What the? Okay, that was the most suspicious sounding thing you've ever said.
Oh great, they're writing her
Let's
like an
leave the
idiot
idle
again.
chatter there for now. Jiang Li has lived in this house for many years. There must be something here that can shed a little light on this whole situation. Let's split up. But if anyone finds anything, we'll examine it together.
A pillar. Several faint marks can be seen on the pillar. It was used to record Ayu's height as he grew up. There's some faded writing near the bottom mark. The more quickly Ayu grows up, the sooner can leave. Judging by the number of marks on the pillar, the family has led a secluded existence here for many, many years. The firewood is neatly stacked. You call that neatly stacked? Maybe the bottom bits. The logs were cut with great power and precision. Whoever chopped the firewood must have been physically fit. As long as the bottom of the pile had begun to rot. It must have been a while since any new wood was added. Oh look, a diary. Some roof tiles broke. Mom and I tried to get up and take a look, but we didn't manage. Luckily, Dad was able to fix him in no time. The dinner table was a bit wobbly today when we sat down to eat. Dad tried to fix it, but ended up breaking one of the legs by accident. Dad's forgetting things again. I'll have to write it all down for now and read it back to him when he's feeling a bit better.
Traveler, Paimon, come quick!
I did not mean to climb that.
What is this?
Changsheng and I found a hidden compartment. This is what was hidden inside.
God remains, I presume?
Huh. You sense it too? You're right. This is a poison concocted using God remains. Is it? Breathing? Paimon's not seeing things, is she?
No. Your eyes do not deceive you. I do believe the poison in this bottle is alive.
Alive?
Some toxins act a lot like living organisms. I read about this once in the Origins and Symptoms of Diseases. This ancient class of poisons consists of mother and minor loads, capable of sustaining a connection over vast distances.
What?
If it's a concoction of this kind we're dealing with, then both the poison in Jialiang's system and this one here are likely minor loads. Offshoots, essentially.
Offshoots? So, the main body is somewhere else?
Correct. Whoever is administering the poison can manipulate the source to indirectly control the poisoned individual's behavior and even cognition. Similarly, the poisoned individual will hear, to a varying extent, the call of the source.
The call of the... Wait. So, back when Jialiang ran off, maybe that explains where he was heading.
He was going back toward the Jinxia village.
Only one thing could have been drawing him there. The source of the God remains used as the poison's key ingredient. The mother lode.
This is getting
That's why you called it...
crazier. What kind of person would do all this just to poison Jialiang? Hey, why has everyone gone quiet all of a sudden? Since this poison was carefully hidden away in a secret compartment, the one who concocted it is likely a resident of the house. You mean Jialiang? Why would he poison
God
himself?
damn it, they're really writing her as an
Think
idiot
a
this
little
time.
harder, Paimon. Someone
Traveler's
else
just
who lives here.
so disappointed.
And who might have... Huh? So you're saying... it was Jiang Li?
Yeah, it's about time you got
Wait,
there.
but that doesn't make any sense either. Why would she poison her own husband?
As a test subject.
I agree. It makes little sense. Jiang Li does not strike me as the kind of person who would do such a thing.
Look at the facts, though. How many people in the entirety of...
It's too early to draw any conclusions. We should question Jialiang about it once he has made more progress in his recovery.
Do you know of a method to neutralize the poison?
Yes. According to the Origins and Symptoms of Diseases, the minor loads will disappear if the mother load is purged. So if we can find and destroy the source of these God remains, the poison will leave Jialiang's system without the need for any further treatment. Do you know anything about God remains in Jinxia village?
I've only heard the rumors.
Even the history books have no record of this. The only ones who'll know anything are those old fogies who have been hanging around here since the beginning of time.
The Adepti?
Didn't you used to be on good terms with the Adepti, though? You sure they didn't tell you anything about this? Well,
Changsheng's memories and powers are not what they were in her prime. These days, she has to enter a contract with a mortal and share their life force just to sustain her own life. I fear that such ancient events are long gone from her memory by now.
Whoa, what? After a contract? Share life force? Sounds like some pretty spooky sorcery if you ask Paimon. Hey, plenty of people would jump at the chance to join forces with a powerful being like me. With my assistance in rebalancing your chi, not only can you extend your lifespan, but you will also be stronger, healthier, and able to eat whatever you like with no risk of upsetting your stomach. Stronger and healthier? Baiju, maybe when you retire, You can let Paimon sign the contract.
Unfortunately, Chung Sheng's contract has strict requirements regarding the host's temperament. None of her hosts have ever been exempted from these rules. I fear that I will be unable to accommodate your wishes, Paimon.
Temperament? Hey! What are you trying to say? Did you just subtly insult Paimon to her face?
No, we wouldn't do it subtly. Strange, Baiju has a weak constitution. Didn't his master pass away at an early age?
Ugh, Paimon's mad! You're getting ugly nicknames, both of you! Baiju, you're Mannequin Man! Chung, you're just a pain in the neck!
This is exactly why your natural temperament makes you woefully unsuited to being my host.
All right, everybody, calm down. Back to the matter at hand. Is there any way at all for us to seek counsel from the Adepti about this?
With how antisocial they are? If it were up to them, they'd go their whole lives without showing their faces to the common folk.
Actually, I do have someone I can call.
What?
Seems you're as well connected as they say, Traveler. We are truly fortunate to have you on our side.
Oh, if you're talking about who Paimon thinks you're talking about, you better do the honors.
Yep. Xiao, you there?
Called.
Gets Paimon every time.
Are all Adepti in the habit of materializing out of thin air like this?
Well, this is unexpected.
Huh? It's you.
Baiju of Boo Boo Pharmacy. I do believe I've had the pleasure before. The Lantern Rite, when we met briefly, I was unaware of your true identity. I must apologize for the discourtesy.
Huh? You two already know each other?
Our paths have crossed once before. I sense the presence of evil spirits. Is this why you called me?
Let me explain. Actually, I wanted to ask you about dead gods. Tell them everything.
So someone has been concocting demonic poison. Too often, fervent desires drive mortals to abandon all regard for their own safety. It is lamentable. I now know what you seek. It is true that a god's remains are buried beneath the foundations of Qingce village. A vile monster known as the Che once wrought havoc over this land. Before it was subdued by Rex Lapis. The land was finally cleansed of poison when Rex Lapis used statues in his likeness to seal the serpent's remains. Qingce village was founded some time after that. The seal is still mostly intact. If the Che is the source, then it must be some of its blood leaking from deep underground. However, its aura is faint and barely detectable. You will need to investigate further to identify the location of the leak.
I see. Also, yeah, whenever it's a Liyue-focused story, it's like, hey, Mihoyo, your China is showing. Remember, some of these words that you're spelling in English aren't pronounced that way.
I do not like to intervene against mortals unless absolutely necessary. But when demonic forces are involved, things can spiral out of control. If that happens, be sure to call my name again.
I will. Thank you, Xiao.
Nothing. I do not wish to sway decisions that are mortals to make, but immortality may not be the blessing that you imagine it to be.
I shall treasure your words of instruction, Master Adeptus.
Farewell.
What a strange Adeptus. Rather different from the way I remember them.
That's Xiao for ya! And thanks to him, we finally got some concrete info to go off of.
If the god remains are leaking from underground, Jiangli must be paying a visit to a subterranean cave on her herb-gathering trips. If we can find the cave...
Master, there's a problem.
Gui? Did you run all the way from Boo Boo Pharmacy?
This is a very
What
long
happened?
way.
Don't panic. Just catch your breath and tell me everything.
It's Jiaoliang. He was fine one minute, and then he suddenly took a turn for the worse.
Already? How? Based on past experience, he should have been fine for the next 3 days at least.
It seems that my worst fears have been confirmed. Everyone, back to Boo Boo Pharmacy now.
Okay. Search yet? Yeah, he would have run all the way from down here? I seem to be one of the few people who knows how to use the teleport waypoints, so... It's like us and Catherine.
Dad, what's wrong?
Don't be scared. Dr. Baishu will be back soon.
How is he doing?
Swap.
Dr. Baiju, you're back! My dad was doing fine earlier, but then he suddenly started coughing up blood. Now he can't even get a full word out anymore.
When Gui left, he was still conscious. But now...
Gui, please take Jiaoliang to the back room and prepare for treatment.
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, Ayu. I will cure your father.
Baishu's not gonna use Chang Sheng's secret art again, is he? Is there really no other way to save Jiaoliang? Oh, please don't worry.
But...
Oh, we gotta wait again. Till 8 again. Good enough. So I haven't... I think the volume's good. Forget that I often change the volume, but... oh yeah, still at 5, that's good. Yep, we stood in one place all night. Of course we're gonna yawn.
How are you feeling, Dad? Are you still hurting anywhere? You're not gonna suddenly collapse again, are you?
Much better, Ayu. I'm feeling much better. Wait, where's Dr. Baiju? I still haven't had a chance to thank him. Seems he moved me here before I came to.
Yeah.
Master said he needed to take a quick rest and asked me to bring you out of the treatment room. He hasn't emerged yet, so he must still be resting.
Or he's sick from trying to help you.
Oh, really? Well, I don't know how I can begin to repay him for saving my life. I'll have to discuss it properly with Jiang Li once we find her. Speaking of which, has there been any word of her whereabouts yet?
No, the Adventurers Guild hasn't gotten back to me yet. I'll go check with them again in a bit.
I'll come with...
Don't forget what Master said. You're still not out of the woods yet, Jiaoliang. I strongly suggest that you stay and rest at Boo Boo Pharmacy for now. I can accompany Ayu to the Adventurers Guild.
I suppose you're right. I'll have to rely on you this time. Though, on the bright side, this means I can thank Dr. Baiju in person once he's finished resting.
Traveler, Baiju hasn't shown his face ever since he went in to treat Jiaoliang again. Do you think he...
Let's go check up on him.
Huh? Hey, wait up!
Where are we going, though?
Huh?
You're finally awake? That was far too risky. Even with me here to help you balance your chi.
There was no time. I had no other choice. In any case, it was not completely without benefit to myself. I managed to learn something. Jiang Li's design is quite brilliant. She makes numerous innovations that I can learn from. Alas, if only there wasn't a catch.
So, how much longer do you think Baj...
They've been outside waiting for you the whole time while you were asleep. Shall we at least go and show our faces?
All right.
The reason I'm always hesitant
Sure,
to stream this
yeah.
game is because it's mostly
There's no way he could've
cutscenes.
just...
Who's talking behind our backs again?
Ah! Baju! Changsheng!
You're both okay.
Of course. There's no need to be concerned. I merely had to transfer a rather large amount of life force on this occasion. But, with Changsheng's help, I will recover in time.
Jialiang seemed fine yesterday. Why did he need more life-saving treatment again so soon?
I made an error in my initial diagnosis. Jialiang is in fact suffering from more than one ailment.
Oh dear.
And as a result, his life force depleted at a greater rate than I had anticipated.
What? You mean, even if you got all the poison out of him, he'd still be sick?
Yes. But more pertinently, the poison in Jialiang's system is there precisely because it is being used to manage his underlying medical condition.
Wait, what?
Jialiang has a rare congenital heart condition, and ongoing treatment is essential to maintaining healthy functioning of his heart meridian. Left untreated, it puts the patient at risk of coughing up blood and fainting, and in the longer term, causes irreversible damage to the internal organs. Though it was created from god remains, this formula is not a poison in Jialiang's case. Rather, it's his medication.
Well, shit.
Had he not taken it all these years, he likely would have died a long time ago.
Oh. Alright. Alright, I was wrong, I'll admit it. So that's why Zhongli did it.
Still, using poison to treat a disease is hardly a viable long-term solution. As time passed, and the poison accumulated in his system, it began to impact his cognition. Moreover, the longer he relied upon this medicine, the more resistant his body became to it. Jiang Li had to concoct ever greater quantities to ensure its continued efficacy, or he could have still perished at any moment.
That explains why Ayu said his dad has been getting worse, and why his mom went off to gather herbs.
God remains are extremely dangerous to be around, because humans have no natural defense against them. I shudder to think how many times Jiang Li has exposed herself to them. I fear that the situation is just as that Adeptus described. In an effort to save Jialiang's life, Jiang Li has abandoned all regard for her own safety.
I never suspected that even Jiang Li would turn to the same path as so many others over the years. To sacrifice one's own life to save others. To go beyond human means in order to do the impossible, whatever the cost may be.
Well, I think that it's too early to say with any certainty what fate has in mind. In any case, I have stabilized Jialiang's condition for now, so our immediate priority should be to get ourselves back to Qingsa village and find out where Jiang Li is. Her regular exposure to god remains over such a long period will have been catastrophic for her health. And given that she's already been missing for several days,
He knows now.
I am fearing the worst.
Yep.
It's me, Traveler, Dr. Baiju.
How much did you hear?
It's Jialiang! Don't tell Paimon you overheard everything already.
Dr. Baiju, please let me come with you. You've already done so much for my family. I can no longer just sit here and watch while you put yourself at risk for Jiang Li's sake. After all, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have had to put herself in harm's way in the first place. I know I won't be of much help in battle, but At the very least, I can show you the way. I'm sure I'll be able to remember. I know there's a spot where she says goodbye to me every time she goes to gather her herbs. I'm sure I'll remember. I have to remember.
Be careful. If you get too agitated, your blood pressure and stress levels will rise, putting further pressure on your heart. For your own safety, you should stay here and rest.
No! We're out of time! We have to go now, before I forget everything again.
This trip will be extremely dangerous, and there is a very real possibility that you will not return from it. Are you sure you're prepared for that?
I never expected to live this long in the first place. My death is already long overdue. So why should I fear it? There's only one thing I fear now, and that's that I'll forget her again before we manage to find her.
Very well. Then follow me.
Tao's here too, for some reason. Chi-Chi's where you might expect him.
Dr. Baizhu, are you heading out again?
Yes. This could be a long one. Could you please prepare a dose of the usual formula? Please add an extra measure of mistgrass pollen, and 1 dose each of the ingredients from the 3rd and 5th compartment. Hop to it now. And remember to be careful with the cauldron this time.
Okay.
Okay. Quest 1 complete. Why is part of the medicine cabinet out here?
Everyone, please be careful.
Oh. Want us to go back to the house specifically. Thought we were, go look for the thing since we'd already found everything at the house. Look how this came out and they're saying like, oh, it uses the same engine as Breath of the Wild. And playing this back to back with Tears of the Kingdom, I don't really know. Is it similar? Is it the same one? Similar, sure.
That strange feeling is back. It's just like the day I went missing. It's as if something inside me is trying to guide me somewhere.
Yeah, you can be our compass to go and find where she is.
The Motherlode's influence is growing stronger. But is it because we're getting closer to the source?
The characters
or because
are
the leakage
both
of
more and
blood
less
is growing
detailed
more severe?
than in Breath of the Wild.
Jialiang, can you sense which direction the source is in?
I think
like
it's
they
this
look
way.
better if they're not moving. They are moving. It's always like a set number of motions they can make.
Yes, I'm sure of it.
I don't remember if that's the same way as in Breath of the Wild. Plus, the colors in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are a lot more muted than...
I feel a dull ache in my heart. This must be the way. This place feels familiar. I think I've been here before.
Yeah, this looks... Yeah, that's where we're going.
There is an inauspicious presence here.
It was literally right around the corner from the house.
I remember this place.
Jialiang, are you okay?
No, I have to keep going. Jiangli is still waiting for me. Then let's hurry.
I had to move away first. Entanglement of past dreams. Yep, we're gonna get to play as Baizhu.
This place gives Paimon the creeps. Who knows what we're gonna find up ahead? The digging marks here appear amateur and rather old. I suspect it is a thieves' tunnel. A thieves' tunnel? Paimon has heard rumors about treasure around.
Judging by the tools they left behind, it's certainly a possibility. But why did they abandon this place without even stopping to pack up their tools?
I remember now. She took me here once and told me that she'd found a way to save me in this cave. But she said that the method would cause me to...
Easy,
Forget.
Jialiang.
Let's keep going. Alright. Okay, cool. What do you do? Baiju, level 61. You have a catalyst, Braveheart stat. Yep. Pretty standard for catalyst. Let's see. 3 attacks with no penalty last return. Healing all nearby party members based on Baiju's max HP. Okay, so it's an attack that turns into healing. That's cool. Shield. Absorbs dendro damage. Healing. Attack opponents. Cool. Oh, that's interesting. His passive talent is when we collect harvestable items, it heals you. That's weird. Additional charge. Attack boost for the percentage of healing.
Life.
Oh, it's a close range one. Very close range.
This is nothing. Mind the side effects.
The doctor will see you
I always find it hard to fight with catalyst characters.
Mind the side effects.
He's not that bad. Very close range, though. That made sense for Shikano and Heizo, but with his punches.
Those treasure hoarders sure made themselves at home.
I don't see any dust on the sensor's surface. The burn marks on the inside are still fresh. I don't think this was left here by the... oh, no, this one's not a thought. I don't think this was left here by the treasure hoarders.
I believe this sensor was used to burn a monster-repelling incense.
Didn't work too well, did it?
Monster-repelling incense? You sure? 'Cause we did run into that group of monsters just now.
Right next to
The
it.
incense was burned several days ago. If I had to guess, the monsters we fought just now were enticed here by some entity deeper inside the cave. No doubt an encounter with the very same entity was what prompted the treasure hoarders to flee and abandon their designs on this cave. After them, Jiangli was the next person to discover this place and what lies inside. But to her, it presented an opportunity to save Jialiang's life, albeit as a last resort.
That's right. This
Zhangchun says
it
his
belongs to
name a
Jiangli.
lot smoother.
Yes, this was the place. This is where I told Jiangli to give me the poison.
Jialiang!
I'm fine. Let's keep going. I can feel it.
Well, at least he knew it was poison. He volunteered for it, so at least that was consensual. That's better than it could have been. Like I said, I thought it was she was using him as a test subject. I'm glad I was wrong. Though that would have been interesting.
feel it. We're getting close. We're almost there. It's right up ahead. The place where we made a pact together to...
Okay.
Aha! We can keep going now.
From the looks of it, the energy released by this mechanism can not only clear barriers, but also be conducted by corresponding mechanisms. Perhaps it's something we can make use of.
I see. Explain what those are, so that now we can move this around to do it in the right place. Let's just activate it here first, see what happens. Expecting nothing. It's near that crystal. Nothing. Wrong buttons.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health comes first.
Oh dear.
Mind the side effects. This is nothing. A bitter pill to swallow. Seems like an emergency.
Okay. There was another way to go down there, but I feel like we should keep going. Oh, we're gonna have to do both of them, aren't we? Huh. Right, give me a moment. We're back in the main room. Okay, so they're just doing the office. Ah, just a chest. Good. Got the real flowy cape. Okay, why push? Oh, I see. This is one you can activate, that one isn't. It's just a chain reaction. Oh, it's just a window over there. Oh, great. I think all the purple stuff is the
Jiangli!
The god remains must have lured them here. Watch my back. A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health comes first. Mind the side effects.
Jeez. Okay.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Whew. Heal me, please. Thank you.
Mind the side effects.
Shit. Okay. He's not too bad to fight as because his ability heals you. So even if you're not doing too much, you have the time you need.
Dr. Baiju, how serious is it? Is she...
I can still feel a pulse, but her condition is quite grave. The god remains here are encroaching on her cognition, much as the poison in your system did to you. If we don't eliminate it soon, then even if we save her life, I fear that she may never wake up again.
Oh dear.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's destroy the remains right away!
Yeah, how do we do that though?
It's not
Fire?
as simple as that. Don't you remember what Baiju said? The poison within Jialiang's body is inextricably linked to the god remains here. If the source is purged, the poison in his system will stop having any effect. And the poison within Jialiang's body is keeping his heart condition under control. So, if it stops working... Oh no. Are you saying...
Indeed. If the god remains here are purged, then your life will come to an end.
I wondered when this day might come.
Wait! But we've all been working our butts off to save Jialiang's life! After all that, we can't just give up on him, Baiju! You're a great doctor! Surely you gotta know of some other way we can save him, right?
You could continue to take the poison, which would buy you some time. As for Jiang Li, maybe if we put our heads together, we can think of something?
What are you doing now?
It appears to me that she was striving to concoct your medicine for you, right up until the moment when she lost consciousness.
Dr. Baiju, give it to me straight. How long does Jiang Li have?
The god remains have reached her internal organs.
How do you know?
Under ordinary circumstances, I would give her less than 3 days. But if I were to treat her using a secret art...
You can't be thinking about that again.
But what would be the point of that? Dr. Baiju, I'm all too aware of the dangers of god remains. You are not the first to mention it to me. If I continue to sustain my own life using this wretched substance, not only would Jiang Li have to keep risking her life to make my medicine for me, but I would have to live with the looming threat of these remains breaking out and wreaking havoc not just upon me, but my entire family. I know for a fact that I should have died over a decade ago. The fact that I've been around to see IU grow up is already a great blessing from Rex Lapis. If my choice can bring Jiang Li back, then even if I die...
Jialiang...
After cheating death for so long, it seems I've grown somewhat addicted to life. Traveler, Dr. Baiju, could I have another minute with my wife? I just want to have one final moment together. Just a moment, that's all.
Of course.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm sorry that I won't be able to repay your kindness in this life.
Jialiang, Baizhu, Changsheng, is there really nothing else you can do?
I am sure that over the years, Jiang Li will have tried all the conventional methods known to humankind. As for less conventional methods, I have little expertise besides Changsheng's secret art.
Mortals are fated to grow old and pass on when their natural lifespan runs out. If it were so easy to combat the natural processes of aging and death, Jiang Li would not have had to resort to unnatural methods. What a crazy situation! Jiang Li risked it all to save Jialiang's life, and now Jialiang has to sacrifice himself to save Jiang Li! What's the point of it all?
All we can do right now is honor Jialiang's decision and bear witness.
I've seen many final farewells in my time, but I can never get used to it.
In the human realm, all things must come to an end. Is it not a fitting end to die for a worthy cause? At least, that's what generations of masters before you have always believed.
The path they chose was indeed a heroic one. But when I think of those who would willingly sacrifice themselves for others, I cannot help but think that theirs are the lives least deserving of death.
When all this began, we agreed that once Ayu was old enough to help you gather herbs, it would be time for me to go. If you could only see him now. He took me all the way to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor. And he even got the Adventurers Guild to search for you. So, I know that you'll both be okay without me. I've said my goodbyes. My time has come. Do what you must.
As you wish.
Wait, what? What was that? Just disintegrated?
It will eat away at both your cognition and your memories. In the end, you'll become little more than a shadow of your true self.
I'll take it. At the very least, it will allow me to stay with you and watch Ayu grow up.
Mom, something's really wrong with Dad. Don't fret, Ayu. I will gather some medicinal herbs right away. I promise you, nothing will happen to our family.
Why would these memories come to mind now? The longer we live, the tighter we cling to what we have. Oh, how I would love to hear your voice one last time.
Well, shit.
Jialiang! Jialiang! Jialiang!
Oh,
Jialiang!
no way. He lived?
Dad, are you awake?
Jiang Li, are you? Didn't I... Huh? What are these?
How does it feel to come back to life?
Do you feel strange or different in any way? If so, could you describe it to me in detail?
Dr. Baizhu, I thought that I was going to...
Die? You did indeed. As things stand now, you're more akin to a zombie than a human.
What?
I'm a zombie?
What?
That's right. Before we set off, I asked Chi-Chi to prepare an elixir of immortality. With its help, you have been suspended in the space between life and death. Of course, this is but a crude imitation of an Adeptus art. I don't expect it to extend your life indefinitely. Whether it will keep you alive for a few days, a few months, or a few years, I'm as interested as you to find out. But, however long you have left, I believe it should be more than sufficient time for you to say your final goodbyes before departing the world in peace.
An elixir of immortality? How'd you cook that up? Ugh. Leave it to you to work on something like that behind my back.
It's a work in progress that hardly lives up to its name, and it would have had no effect were it not for Jialiang's iron will. In the end, I am merely a doctor. I understand very little of the great principles governing life and death and the perpetual cycle of yin and yang. All I know is that if I'm presented with a life that deserves to be saved, I will do everything in my power to save them. And even this would have counted for nothing without Director Hu's assistance. After all, did you not tell Jia Liang to show us the way before we set off for Qingce village?
Oh.
And I'm busted.
Huh.
Without Director Hu nudging things in the right direction, we may not have found Jiangli in time.
I knew someone was listening in on that conversation. So was Hu Tao.
No wonder he didn't mention the elixir back then. I thought he was being frank and transparent with me for once, but apparently not.
Director Hu told me to keep her suggestion a secret, but it seems nothing escapes Dr. Baiju's attention.
Never underestimate a serpent's sense of smell.
All I wanted was to help Jia Liang find his missing wife as soon as possible, so that he could be on his way to the afterlife without any unfulfilled wishes making the journey more difficult than it needs to be. Leave it to Boo Boo Pharmacy to snatch the perfect opportunity right out of my hands at the last hurdle. Never mind. I'll just have to put it down in the books as a deferred consideration. One Chi-Chi was enough of a conundrum. The last thing I need's another one. If I'd known this was coming, I'd have whisked him off to the Wangsheng funeral parlor the moment I found him.
You stay away from my dad! When I grow up, I'm gonna become an even better doctor than Mom and Baiju, and cure Dad for good!
Oh, is that right? Well, you wouldn't be the first person who's tried to put Wangsheng Funeral Parlor out of business. If you're serious about it, you'll have your work cut out for you.
Okay.
Traveler, Paimon, I'll catch you all another time.
Is she finally gone? All's well that ends well. If you ask Paimon, we should probably do something to celebrate this hard-earned family reunion.
Paimon's idea of a celebration can only mean one thing.
At times like this, a grand celebratory feast is in order.
It feels like it was a whole lifetime ago when I last talked with Zhongli and Ayu around the dinner table.
This was a hard-won meal. Maybe I'll whip something too. It's been a while.
Yay! Paimon can't wait! Alright, first things first, off to the market for some fresh ingredients. Let's go!
Wait up! I'll come too!
Baiju, thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Don't mention it, Jiangli. I was just doing my duty.
Just your duty, huh? Baiju, Changsheng, would you mind if we took this conversation outside?
Gonna show it to us? Okay! Alright.
Now that you are part zombie, there are some rules that you need to know.
Yeah.
First, don't forget to stretch your body regularly.
Yes?
I forgot.
Alone as Baiju. Oh, we get a cutscene in motion, huh? Maybe? It's keeping me at the speed, by the way.
and for some reason it made her slightly faster. What is with some games and not being able to match player and NPC movement speeds? You want us to follow someone?
I've taken a look
We
at
should
your
be the same
elixir of
speed.
immortality. It's not altogether dissimilar from the poison I concocted in terms of the way it functions.
I have to say, Jiangli, it was a stroke of genius to use poison to maintain life. I hope you're not too upset at me for copying your methods.
No, not at all. With your intellect, even if you'd never seen my poison, I believe you would have eventually arrived at the same approach. But I'm still impressed by how quickly you managed to gain such a thorough understanding of it. Jialiang's still only been in your care for a few days. Not just that, you even managed to improve upon the original formula. That cannot be explained by intellect alone. Baizhu, be honest with me. Did you try out some of the poison on yourself?
Huh. Told you the truth would surface sooner or later.
Life force isn't the only thing that Changsheng's contract lets you transfer between bodies, is it?
Nothing gets past you, Jiangli. You are correct. Besides life force, Changsheng's secret art also allows for the transfer of toxins and diseases. When I treated Jia Liang for the second time, I transferred some of the poison from his body into my own. Not only did this allow me to alleviate the burden on him, but it also gave me an opportunity to study its properties. There is no need to worry about any long-term consequences to my health, however. Now that the source has been destroyed, any remaining poison in me will have already dissipated.
But you took such a huge risk. If we hadn't destroyed the god's remains back there, then even you might have... What am I saying? I'm in no position to criticize you for this.
Damn right.
The reason I left our master and went into hiding all those years ago was that he was getting old, and I didn't want him using up any more of his own life force to treat my husband. But in the end,
It was happening even back
so
then?
different. I risked one life to save another, and then you tried the poison on yourself too. It looks like both of us have ended up going the same way as our master before us. Are all disciples of Chenyu Vale destined to turn out this way? To live a short life, having given away our own for the sake of others? To fight relentlessly against the natural course of life and death, whatever the cost? Maybe our fate is sealed the moment we decide to study medicine.
We are doctors, Jiangli. We ought never say that anyone's fate is sealed.
Baizhu, I can tell that, over the years, you've used the contract with Changsheng to transfer many diseases and toxins to yourself. There are so many that some of them I don't even recognize.
How can you tell just by looking?
Still stop before it's too late?
I think you know the answer, Jiangli. Every one of us from Chenyu Vale believes in the same thing.
Hey, food's ready!
Mom, come and join us. The Traveler taught me a load of new recipes and said even Dad'll be able to taste them. Come and try them out.
Yes, darling. Mom will be there in just a second. Hey, slow down. Baizhu, I know I won't be able to convince you, but please don't forget that if one day you're not around anymore, Chi-Chi, Gui, and all the friends who have grown fond of you, they will all miss you dearly.
There's no need to worry, Jiangli. I know what I'm doing.
Do you? Do you really?
I can only hope so.
Baizhu, what did Jiang Li mean by not around anymore? Are you gonna be okay?
Also, when Changsheng was talking about fate, what did she mean exactly?
Every single mortal I've ever contracted with, including Baizhu and Jiang Li's master, has passed away at a young age. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. You said that the contract with you helps people live longer.
It is a very long story.
just had a long story.
Long ago,
oh wow,
when plagues ravaged the land, one doctor made a pledge to rid the world of pain and suffering. But even the most ingenious mortal medicine could not stay the tide of disease. And after working tirelessly for many years, even his dearest loved ones fell sick and bade their final farewell. Legends told of an herb lord in Chenyu Vale who could cure any illness known to mankind. The doctor sought the herb lord, but found only a white snake, its breathing weak and its power all but spent.
Sign this contract and let our lives be joined. Then I will impart to you the secret art of healing. But be warned, this art will harm your own health.
With means beyond human ken, the doctor could now reverse the process of death. And yet, the time still came to say goodbye. Only now, the one departing was the doctor, his life force spent. His final act in life was to pass on the contract to his final patient, his favorite disciple. The disciple chose to dedicate their life to saving the lives of others. And generation upon generation followed in these footsteps. Since I inherited this contract, I've always respected the path taken by my predecessors, and followed it myself unquestioningly. That is until I tried to use the art to save my own disciple's beloved. She begged me not to use up my own life force. She said that this art is a poison chalice, an evil and unnatural practice. She did not wish to sacrifice one life for the sake of another, when both were lives she treasured. Only then did it occur to me. Did I not suffer when my master passed away, just as patients' families do at their loved one's deathbed? Are not the lives cut short by this contract just as worthy of saving as any patient's? What is this contract to us? Medicine or poison? Alas, I no longer have enough time left to find the answer. I entrust to your care both Changsheng and this final question. May you find a remedy for this conundrum, which has ailed us so.
Time and again, no matter how much I try to warn them or balance their chi, I can never save them. And you? What's your answer?
If I abandoned the contract and left you without a host, what would happen?
I suppose I'd spend my final moments taking a nice nap on Mount Yaojin. Then I'd be reunited with my old friends and your predecessors.
Then it's decided. If there's a life in front of me that deserves to be saved, why shouldn't I do everything within my power to save it?
Once again, it's the same answer. So be it. Close your eyes. Who knows how many more people will take on this contract?
None. This contract will end with me.
My contract has strict requirements on the host's natural temperament. All my hosts have been most pure of heart.
But when one with an altruistic nature gains access to this art, they are more seduced than the average person by the miracle of overturning the laws of life and death. Though they know better than anyone else the fate that awaits them, when faced with the sorrows of humanity and the pain of losing their nearest and dearest, they cannot help but reach beyond human means. They are like moths that throw themselves into the flame, seeking a glimmer of hope in a dark world filled with pain and suffering.
So, Baiju, does that mean...
I suppose that would make me a moth that yearns for the light, but doesn't want to be burned to a crisp. Chang Sheng's art can transfer pain and suffering between people, but it cannot reduce the total amount of pain in the world. It's just like we witnessed. Either Jia Liang feared for Jiang Li's life, or Jiang Li grieved over Jia Liang's sacrifice. I have nothing but the utmost respect for my predecessors, who sacrificed their lives for their principles. But I do not wish to join their ranks, nor do I wish to pass on this contract to anyone else in the future.
Huh? But didn't you already transfer a ton of diseases onto yourself?
What makes a poison poison? And what makes a disease a disease? When it comes down to it, are not both mechanisms that affect the operations of the human body? If disease is defined as deviation from normal functioning,
well, no, that's
knows?
not.
Perhaps the true elixir of immortality could in fact be a kind of poison. Many may view the notion of searching for immortality in poisons and illnesses as a flagrant violation of the natural order. But to me, it is no different from the way our ancestors tested the medicinal qualities of herbs by sampling each and every one. I don't want those who come after me to lose their lives to this contract. Nor do I wish for Cheng Sheng to perish from losing her host. This leaves only one solution, doesn't it?
You have to become immortal yourself.
Precisely. I will be Cheng Sheng's final host, and the tradition of passing down the contract will end with me.
Even the gods of old struggle to achieve true immortality. First you want to save others, then you want to save yourself. Now you even want to save me. You're getting greedy, Baiju.
But isn't wanting to have it all what makes us human? For a selfish moth like me, who's afraid of the flame yet yearns for the light, the only path forward is up towards the moon.
For once, Paimon just does not know what to say.
Admittedly, there are a lot of times you don't know what to
What are you
say.
chatting about? The food's about to get cold.
A lot of times.
We also have coconut milk for Changsheng and Paimon. Okay, fine. Let's go grab some food. Paimon has a bunch of burning questions, but they can wait till after we've eaten.
I was gonna say, Paimon, there are a lot of times you don't know what to say, but most of those times you say something anyway. Paimon.
I do envy Paimon sometimes. Eating her fill is enough to satisfy her body and mind.
True. And yet, although we call them simple pleasures, are such things as these not precisely why we mortals cling desperately to the life we have?
Damn right. The Heart of Healing complete! Excellent. That story quest is done. Know what that'll give me? It'll give me something up here. Wait, what? Oh, I guess it wasn't the main one, so it didn't count? Oh. Well, we're gonna go and unlock this right now, I think. We have, like, half an hour left. So, that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to start this. And it seems this one takes place in Inazuma. Here I thought it was going to be in Sumeru. But I guess it would have to start where she's from. Haven't been to Inazuma in a while. In fact, I haven't even been to Liyue in a while. I've been sticking to Sumeru because I don't really have a reason to go anywhere else. I'm not gonna horror fireworks.
Have you packed all your things? Make sure you brought the onigiri and rice cakes your mother prepared.
Don't worry. I have them all. They're going to last me days. Take care turn.
Oh, Yoimiya, your mother and I got so worried when we heard that you were going so far abroad. We've never left the country.
So we don't know how Outlanders might view us Inazumans, or if they'd even be willing to speak to us.
You're just other people in other places. Come on.
Are friendly and warm.
Yeah.
Look at Toma from the Yashiro Commission. He's originally from Mondstadt, but everyone thinks he's a top-tier guy.
I forgot he was originally from there.
A mop tier? What mop? Oh! Do you mean the broken one at home? I just fixed it today, actually.
No! I said top, not mop. You know, Toma even sent us some wine from his homeland not too long ago.
We haven't heard this kind of friendly banter in a while, huh?
Oh, hey you two! It's been a long time, hasn't it?
You're as peppy as ever.
I'm excited because I'm going on a trip soon. Many things have changed. Lots of Outlanders have come to Inazuma, and lots of Inazumans have gone out as well. You two have been adventuring all over Teyvat, so you might not be able to understand, but for us, this is a long-awaited chance to go out and fulfill our dreams.
That's right, the Sakoku decree is gone.
Ah, I remember you two. You're Yoimiya's friends, yes? Word of your incredible accomplishments has spread throughout Inazuma. My daughter's a big fan of yours. She said she'd love to be like you two.
Come on, Dad. Who's never dreamed of becoming a hero?
You've done some heroic feats yourself.
Oh,
You're in my party,
thanks.
right?
But I'm just your average artisan. The quiet life suits me better. But if an opportunity presents itself, why not try to show your stuff, right?
All right. Did you two come over today to order some fireworks?
Oh, sorry. I got carried away. Well, I'm gone. Dad's in charge of making fireworks. You've seen how skilled he is, so there's nothing to worry about.
He just won't be able to hear people's orders correctly.
Oh no, we aren't here to do business or anything. We just happen to be passing by.
Oh, so we're all here with time to spare? What a treat! In that case, let's chat some more. I'm not in a rush anyway.
Sure. So, where are you planning to go?
No clue.
What?
Huh?
I say that, but I do have a travel goal. To see Teyvat's grandest meteor shower. But I don't know when or where it'll happen. So, I figured I can search while I travel.
That's it? No details? Nothing?
Not right now. Since this meteor shower was originally something like a family legend. A long time ago, the Naganaharas were inspired to create new fireworks after watching such a meteor shower. Dad says that inspiration is a combination of what you see and what you know. Different people can see the same thing, but have different thoughts. Inazuma today is completely different from how it was in the past. If I can see this meteor shower, I'm sure I'll be able to come up with a new kind of firework.
Meteors and fireworks. They do have some similarities.
I know,
well, with
right?
being on fire and all that.
Of course, my main reason is that I want to go and look outside Inazuma.
No need to be shy about it. You gotta play hard when you get the chance.
You know, you're right, Paimon. Is it just me, or have you gotten wiser since we first met?
It's just you.
Paimon loves being friends with you since you say such nice things.
Since you're going out to play regardless, why not make Sumeru your first stop?
Sumeru.
Right, Sumeru.
I've heard of it. It has a ton of trees, a super impressive school, and a massive desert.
There's also a division of the school that specializes in studying the stars.
Yep, and everyone there is really smart, so Paimon's sure you'll get some answers from them about the meteor shower.
Really?
Actually, yeah, that's a good plan.
Won't research people make fun of me or something if I ask them about a legend?
We won't know if something's real or not unless we ask. Don't worry, we got solid connections in there.
Not wrong. We have connections literally everywhere to all of the most... Yeah, that's more accurate. Just me.
Wouldn't I be taking up your time, though? I doubt this was in your schedule.
It's fine. This way your parents can be at ease. I'll be your guide.
Exactly! Relax, Yoimiya. You've helped us plenty of times before.
All right. Then I accept your offer. Let's have some fun at Sumeru. Dad! You can have more peace of mind now that I'm traveling with them, right?
Hmm? Oh, yes. Your mother and I will be much more at ease.
Remember, you two also need to take care of yourselves. I'll be back soon. Okay, let's head to Rito and catch a boat there.
We can just take the teleport waypoint. Right, I'm the only one who uses those. Star Picker's Passage. Nice. Alright. Oh! During the journey at sea, you board a passenger ship bound for Port Ormos, enjoying the lovely ocean views along the way. Yoimiya listens with rapt attention as you tell her of the events following the Vision Hunt decree and of your various adventures in Sumeru. The long voyage ends before you know it. Port Ormos.
Wow, so this is Sumeru?
Barely.
That tree's huge! Is the port built on top of it? And this
under
place
it.
is amazing.
And in it.
It's way bigger than Rito's port. There are also a lot more stores here.
Oh, there's more cool stuff for you to see. Don't you worry.
Port Ormos also took my breath away when I first visited. Welcome to Sumeru.
This place is awesome! I had heard people describe it, but nothing beats seeing a place for yourself.
You are literally still on the dock.
With my own eyes, I could never have imagined such a place. So, the school you were talking about, the academia, is it here?
Nope.
Nope. We have to head north from here and follow the river to reach Sumeru City.
Sumeru City, huh? I guess it's even more impressive than here?
Yes. They each have their own highlights. The city has an even bigger tree. Land of never-ending feces. No, let's go with this one.
Looking forward to it. I'm so excited. Whatever the case, why don't we go to Sumeru City? Oh, I'm so excited that I don't even know what I should be doing anymore.
The important thing about going on a trip is to enjoy yourself. You don't have to think so hard.
How about we walk around here?
I'm just worried that if we don't get down to business soon, we'll take up too much of your time.
Oh, please.
But if you insist, then let's look around.
Around as her, why not? Literally in my main party, so yeah, let's do that.
Welcome to Akara Crafts. Feel free to have a look around.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Wow, what are these? They're so cute.
The Aranara.
This is our current bestseller, the Aranara carving. Their designs are based on the fairy tales that circulate amongst children, so they're very popular with them. Miss, are you from Inazuma? Well, this would be a great gift for you to bring back home.
Oh, I know about Aranara. You two told me about them on the ship. I didn't think they'd be so cute. No wonder the kids like them. Oh, they're all so pretty. Let me take a better look.
I knew Yoimiya would like this kind of thing. But even she might have a hard time seeing a real Aranara.
They don't like being disturbed. So I told her they're from fairy tales.
Yeah, sorry, Yoimiya. But we need to keep our promise to the Aranara. That's that. Paimon doesn't think Yoimiya would mind too much. Her world's already chock full of imaginary creatures.
I think I'll get this one. Ooh, that one. And the other two that you showed me earlier.
You're buying that many?
Yep. I'm going to give them out to Saika and the others. They're going to love them. Oh, and these carvings can also be used as prizes and matches against the Arataki gang. They'd also look great lined up by the window. Think about it. You wake up, and when they brighten up your entire day.
Let me cover some of the cost.
Okay, thanks. In that case, you take your pick too.
Go with this one.
For some reason, Paimon thinks it kinda looks
Huh.
like you, Yoimiya.
Yeah, kinda.
Now that you mention it, it kinda does.
Hello, Nara Paimon. My name is Armia.
Hope I remember correctly.
Yeah, actually, though they wouldn't have made the noises for them walking around.
Memory. We only talked about R&R that one time on the boat.
That's because they're so interesting. I'm pretty good at remembering those kinds of things.
Of course.
Oh, I missed that.
Thank you for your patronage. You all are an entertaining bunch. I hope you enjoy your time here in Sumeru.
That's about it for Port Ormos. Next up is Sumeru City.
All right.
Oh, it skipped the rest of the line. Ah, looks like I have a commission here too. Is it gonna pull me into the commission?
Wow, this market is even busier than the one in Port Ormos.
This is Treasure Street. Up from here is the Academia. Oh, and in that tree trunk is the Grand Bazaar. They're both pretty special places.
I just saw a group of people come down, and they were all wearing the same outfit. Is that the Academia's uniform?
That's right. They also wear hats with different designs, depending on which darshan they're in. For example, we'll be looking for someone from Watawahist. They know a lot about stars and stuff.
Does this mean that you need uniforms like those to get in and out of the Academia?
Nope.
Paimon doesn't think so.
Something worrying you, Yoimiya?
Won't we stick out if we go in like this?
No.
So even you
I mean,
think
yes,
so,
but also
huh?
no.
No, that's not what I meant. Let's pretend you're an Academia student, hard at work. Then in comes a bunch of Outlanders in strange clothes who gawk and run around everywhere.
Oh, Paimon kinda gets what you mean.
We'll be a bit distracting, won't we? Attract the Matra's attention.
I don't think we have to be too self-conscious, but it's still something to keep in mind.
Everyone is in some shades of green and brown.
Look around here first.
You're in red.
I've been wanting
I'm
to
in
see
yellow.
Zubair Theater anyway.
So.
As for the Academia, let's go once I get myself a set of Sumeru-style clothes.
Are you actually gonna get a new outfit?
Alright, but Paimon thinks you're overthinking it.
Agreed. I'll find you a good tailor later.
Milu might have some good recommendations.
Ooh.
Sounds good. If we can watch a performance of hers while we're at it, that'd be even better. Alright, I'll be looking around here. I'm leaving the meteor shower inquiry to you two. Thanks a lot.
No problem. We'll be right back.
Cool. Double Yoimiya!
I won't go too far. And don't worry about me getting bored. I'm an expert at finding ways to pass time.
Hold on. This is silly. Oops. I feel like... Nah, never mind. Well, I could. I would want them to be in some sort of good position. Like, I guess here, then. Oop,
Have you ever kept goldfish as pets? They're very cute.
Camera's hard to control. Yeah, never mind. Question. Do I have any of those? No, but somehow I ended up with some of these. I guess we were in lead. Right, that's what's over there. It's not again. Wants us to go to the Academia? Perfect.
We said we were gonna find someone from Watawahist, but Now that Paimon thinks about it, no one really fits the bill.
Are you sure? Well, the previous Wataya's sage was a czar. Layla's probably having a tough time right now.
Paimon thinks Alhaitham might know something, but Paimon doesn't want to talk to him.
Why not?
Oh, why don't we just ask around? Maybe we'll run into someone from Watawa.
Looks like you two are in a pickle.
Nahida!
Why not consult someone who always tells you everything she knows?
That's a line!
Why are you here?
Also, yeah, why is the Archon just wandering around the academia? Right on cue.
I'm here to meet with some researchers, but when I saw you two looking so troubled, I decided to follow.
Alright, you had a reason.
Looks like I showed up just in time.
Okay, we might as well tell you. We have a friend who's come to Sumeru.
You tell Nahida about Yoimiya and the meteor shower.
I see.
Your face says that it's gonna be a long time before the next meteor shower.
My answer is going to be even more of a disappointment. You may have heard that the stars are related to people's fates.
Yeah, lots of times.
If the stars dictate destiny, then do you think that destiny is something that is unchanging and always follows predicted outcomes?
No.
You have a point.
If that were so, Ratawahis would have achieved one of their ultimate goals.
According to current Ratawahist research, a meteor shower is a celestial phenomenon that occurs due to the interference between many intricate fates. Their appearance is highly random. Some have tried coming up with ways to predict their occurrence, but the results are less than reliable. This is a far cry from folktales that claim meteor showers come at certain times, and bless all who witness them.
So,
I mean...
You mean we won't be able to see one?
That's just because this world doesn't operate like our own.
Disappoint you two.
We're a lot more predictable here on Earth.
If we tell this to Yoimiya, she'll be so disappointed.
She's been so excited this entire trip. This was a rare trip abroad for her.
What now? There has to be something.
Normally, those are two parts of the same sentence, so oops. Yoimiya is always genuine with everyone, and she does her best to protect the dreams of children. Just like the time she hung out with the kids on the beach and talked with them about the great Muji no Yokai. And now, she's the one who wants to see something. Her fire has to be extinguished. And now, when she's the one who wants to see something, her fire has to be extinguished like this.
Are you two okay? It seems the news hit harder than I expected.
Paimon just thinks this isn't fair to Yoimiya.
Good people should be repaid for their good deeds.
I get it. From how you described her, I can see that she is a kind and caring soul.
This is true.
So, why don't we take a page out of her book and protect her dreams with a well-intentioned lie?
Oh? How do we do that?
It'll be a story about a meteor shower. You'll accompany her on a brief journey, do a bit of work here and there, and then receive the meteor shower as a reward. Oh, well, I can't summon a real meteor shower, but if it's in a dream, I can help out.
Oh, that would be great, Nahida!
Thank you so much.
Compared to what you've done for me, this is nothing. Use the meteor shower as a pretext to take Yoimiya all around Sumeru. Then, when you're ready, blow this.
It's a leaf!
I'll tell the Aranara in advance. Once
Oh?
they hear the whole story, I'm sure they'll be willing to help.
Huh. Then the dream will probably be like the one we had in the Avidia Forest, when we first met Hypatia. That was a real shocker. It was hard to tell that we were even in a dream.
Yeah, only later did we realize that.
Once the meteor shower ends and you all awaken from the dream, she'll probably realize what had happened. If you tell her the truth at that point, she should be a lot less disappointed.
Huh.
Paimon thinks this is the best way to simulate the meteor shower. Thanks, Nahida.
You're welcome. Still, you two should get this story straight before you join up with your friend. If not, she's gonna see right through everything.
True. Let's discuss it on the way. So what we need to do is to make Yoimiya believe that the meteor shower is really happening and be super convincing at how we sell it.
Complete some challenges, then reap the rewards.
If Paimon wanted to go see a meteor shower, the things Paimon would focus on the most would be...
start time and the perfect vantage point.
Yes, exactly! We'll say we're trying to figure these two things out, but we'll actually be bringing Yoimiya around to see the sights and enjoy local food. Oh, well, easier said than done. We can't be too strict with our pretext, but we can't be sloppy with it either, or she'll see through it. It'd be best if we could take a unique approach to making it fantastical, just like a real fairy tale. This is gonna be hard.
It reminds me of the plane of Euthymia, when stars symbolizing wishes appeared in the sky.
Oh, that's right. Don't people also talk about wishing on a shooting star? If we used wishes as the center of our story...
A meteor shower is something summoned by people's wishes.
Whoa, that sounds great! Alright then, we need a specific wishing spot or else the sky would be full of meteor showers.
You need a certain device to find this location, just like how Ratawa requires their observational instruments.
And then, while we're supposedly finding or making this device, we'll go around and have fun and eat good food! This is shaping up to be the perfect plot. After all, the device can be anything, and the location can be wherever. As long as we get Yoimiya to enter the dream at night, things will be fine.
You're getting even smarter. Oh, that's hard to say. Your brain always works so well when food comes up. That's easy.
There's nothing wrong with that. You should know Paimon pretty well by now. Alright, let's go. Yoimiya's probably sick of waiting for us.
Well, she said she can easily make use of free time, so we'll see. Emberglow leaf. Oop, okay.
Thanks so much. If it weren't for your help, I would have gotten lost already.
It's no problem. I'll be heading home then.
Just a minute, wait.
Yoimiya, what are you doing?
This is an R&R carving I bought in Port Ormos. I heard it's very popular with kids.
It's alright. I didn't do much.
It's fine. Take it. Come on. You can display it at home or hang it on your wheelchair.
Oh.
It'll cheer you up. That might sound silly to you. Like, Whitey, but that's the magic of a smile. If you don't believe me, try it. Look at it a few times every day, and you'll understand.
Actually, I feel like I already do. You love talking, and you love smiling too. I just don't understand why you're so positive. I've never met anyone like you before. Sorry, I'm not very good with words, but since you say so, I'll accept your gift.
Want me to take you home?
It's okay. I can head back myself.
It took me a second of like skipping a few lines there because I felt awkward to realize she was in a wheelchair.
Who was that kid?
Good job, Yoimiya.
Oh,
Put a smile on her
Her name is
face.
Abine. I saw that she was looking quite forlorn, so I wanted to make sure she wasn't feeling left out or alone. She was pretty shy at first, but I explained that I just arrived in Sumeru and had gotten lost, so I needed someone to help guide me. She agreed and we made our way back here. There were so many paths here, and they're all twisty, turny, and up and down. It's hard navigating through them all.
Did she tell you what's on her mind?
No, she didn't want to talk about that, and I didn't ask. I get the feeling that'll bring up some unhappy memories. But if I had to guess, it's probably because she hasn't been able to explore the city for quite some time. All she said was that she's sick and doesn't know when she'll get better. Whenever we passed by busy crowds, she kept turning her head and taking in all the things around her. At first, I thought she was afraid that someone might bump into us. But When I caught a glimpse in her eyes, I only saw yearning and a deep sense of loss.
It's hard not to be down when something like that happens to you.
At first, she didn't really want to say anything to me at all. She just gave me yes and no answers. But what I really saw was just another child, and asked all the same things everyone else did about rugs, spices, cooking, and the differences between here and home. Eventually, I think I earned her trust. There were many things that she liked in the city, after all. I say that, but honestly, you two probably caught the majority of what she said.
You're such a good person! She had already relaxed her guard around you.
Gotta start somewhere. Oh, by the way, did you guys learn anything about the meteor shower?
You bet we did. Big time. You're in luck, Yoimiya. You'll be able to see the meteor shower from Sumeru.
Really? That's great! If I had gone looking for it myself, I'm sure I would have missed it.
Well, not necessarily.
Huh? What do you mean?
Meteor showers appear in response to people's wishes.
They respond to wishes? Huh, I've never heard that one before. So it's not that you wish upon shooting stars, but that wishes summon them? In that case, I was born ready. Don't you worry.
Are you talking about how you want to use the meteor shower as inspiration for fireworks?
That's why I'm here, but I wouldn't call that my wish. I don't think that alone will call the stars down for us, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow, she's adding her own spin onto this.
If that's the case, then we'll have to practice wishing a little.
What?
Can you two come with me? Let me put my thoughts together and tell me if you understand. As for what my wish is, it's a secret for now.
How about a change of scenery? Let's go someplace that better fits the mood.
Yeah, and we'll take the opportunity to show you some views you've definitely never seen before.
More places to see? All right, let's go.
Okay. And that completes the first quest in here. Just in time for us to end the stream. Good timing. Alright. Let me just grab the stuff here. And as always, we'll end in front of the Adventurers Guild. Okay. Well, we'll complete this story quest tomorrow, and if there's time, we'll start up the event. Wait, no, there's a hangout quest. You gotta do the hangout quest first. Because those are the important things. The quests, though the stories on the on the event quests that are voiced in this game are very good. It's not always very good for streaming until the very end, at the very least. Because at that point, they usually end with a really big, really fun cutscene. Where I'm always like, oh man, I wish I'd streamed this one. But it's an event, so I didn't have the time. But in this case, since we're taking a break from Zelda for this, which, by the way, I'm still going to be using the amiibo cards off stream just to collect some things. We got something interesting yesterday, which was a mask that, though it had the same armor, it ups attack, which is cool. I forget what it was called. Alright, who are we raiding? Ooh, we got options. Haven't raided Sa in a while. Actually, I haven't seen her online in a while. Sa, VTuber. Says she's doing VR chat, so it's pretty much just chatting, but with a 3D model. Alright. Send y'all that way. And until next time, this is the Pirate King, signing off. Have a good night.